Hey, welcome to the Winona State Football Players Association podcast. My name is Colin Charlson, currently the president of the Football Players Association at Winona State University. Thanks for joining us. I'm super excited about tonight's show. We have a couple of guests that I'm going to cut in. We have a surprise for two of our great Winona State football players in the history of our program, and I can't wait for you to see it. Please like and follow us on YouTube. And certainly look forward to seeing you guys all at spring game, April 22nd down in Winona. If you can, we'd love to see you. Make sure you stop by and say hello. With that, enjoy. Take care. Welcome to the Winona State Football Players Association podcast. Today, I am joined by one of Winona State's all-time greats, John Tackmann. Thanks for being with us. Tom Sawyer, the legend himself, joining us from his humble abode somewhere south of, Interstate 90, I think in Florida. And then, of course, Scott Opfer's with us today as well. Tom, would you mind quickly introducing John and his deep background and accolades of everything that you know about him? Maybe give us his quick little story on how we ended up with such an awesome kid on campus at Winona State.
Well, for sure. Thank you. And John, welcome. Thank you for being part of this. Very excited. Kind of the story with John goes that although one of the best linebackers to ever play here, and it's amazing career that you've had, but I want to take it back just a little bit to introduce John from the time I first knew of him. And that was when he was a small child, actually, running around the streets of Altoona. I knew both of his parents. Both parents are in education. His mother was one of the best Phi Ed teachers in the country, still is today, and she was a mentor of mine as well. And so from when John and the family and the boys were young, that he already knew about Winona State from a pretty young age. And then as he went through the high school years and recruiting, once we got John on our campus, we knew that we were going to try to do everything we could to try to keep him here in Winona. And it worked out just perfect from a football standpoint, but from a university even bigger. John, like we talked about, was one of the best linebackers to play here. The list of accolades go on, including National Player of the Year on defense and all conference, all state, all American, led the NSIC, and more importantly is what John had done during his time here at Winona off the field as well. Fantastic student. He was involved with many things around the community, and a true warrior is an accolade that we don't just throw out there. And John, you're one of those guys. So with all of that involved with being a warrior, we're very, very proud of your career. But more importantly, we're just proud of who you are today as a result of some of that from your early beginnings with your parents to here today as an educator yourself. So welcome aboard.
Hey, I appreciate the kind words, Coach. I mean, a lot of that came from great mentors like you and Coach Entz, Coach Kurt, and all those guys. You provided me all those opportunities. And I remember when I first came on campus, everything that you guys had as a program is exactly what I fell in love with. And the town as well, the fishing, the hunting, the football, the school. Heck, I never wanted to leave. I just found this similar type of a home just up here on the St. Croix River now instead of the Mississippi.
John, one of the things you hear a lot from players, and we all have the Winona State experience, but once you leave, once it's over, it's kind of like a death in the family. And then you have this void in your life. What was your experience like at Winona State? And what's it been like since moving on?
Well, I definitely always feel like I'm always part of Winona itself. I mean, I even think about it. I coached track and field for a long time, and we would go down to the state track meet, which is in La Crosse, but we would happen to stay in Winona. And so I would even walk down and check practice, try to stumble into Stacy again, talk with Stacy on the sidelines during some of either spring practices or little camps they had. Heck, just today I had a phone call with Peyton Dockel, one of the greats that just graduated from Winona State. I'm trying to help him try and find some jobs up in the area. Had the opportunity, Colin invited me down last year to be able to speak to some of the players. It's the city is deeply rooted in who I am. And even though I don't live there, I live it every single day. because it's just what's created my personality of Winona State football.
Very cool.
So John, what are you up to nowadays? For those that don't know, what do you spend your time doing?
Well, let's see. I've been a high school science teacher up here at St. Croix Central in Hammond Roberts, Wisconsin. Those that don't know, it's just east of the Twin Cities. Got here in 2009. I've been a head football coach last few years as well. Was the assistant before then. Got 3 kids, a beautiful wife, couple of golden doodles. Just living the dream. What else could a guy ask for? And a bunny, and I have a rabbit, so it's like a little hobby farm here. So,
what? I guess I got one last question. So John and I, we got to play together, right? We had the same tenure in Winona, and we had an amazing defense and some amazing teams, really, both sides of the ball, from 03 through 06 and into 07 even. But what's your memory? Like, what's the one thing? Is there a specific moment in time as it relates to football in Winona that you go, yeah, that was the time, that was the moment that I remember?
Honestly, some of the memories that I cherish and remember the most, I hate to say, aren't even on the field. They're sadly, there's some of the times I actually spent in the training room where it's a place you're not supposed to be, but it was one of the opportunities where you could sit down. You got to interact with the training staff, other sports, soccer would be in there, volleyball would be in there. And you just had all that downtime just to talk with each other, get to know each other, socialize, and really build a lot of those lifelong bonds with people I still keep in touch with today. And some of them, like I said, weren't even football players. They're other sports or even, like I said, the training staff. Those were probably the things I loved and cherished the most in my playing career were small moments like that.
Yeah.
So football, we've all been football coaches, at least at the high school level. What did football give you? What tools did it give you to help you professionally after school?
I would say the work ethic. Never being satisfied with where I was at. I think that's what helped me in my playing career. Having other people see things in me that I didn't know I was capable of doing. I mean, Sawyer talked about me as a linebacker. I wasn't even a linebacker until the end of my career. It was Coach Entz who moved me mid-season. And then just being determined just to continually get better. And then I remember even during some of my early interviews, even as a teacher, I'm never satisfied with what I do in the classroom. I always want to improve it, even if it's from first hour to second hour. How can I improve that for the next class? How can I improve that for the next student? And always kind of that growth mindset of just always never satisfied, always wanting to grow.
Sounds familiar, huh, Tom?
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely.
He sounds like he could be a football coach, right?
Yeah.
I think he's got it. Definitely got it down.
Yeah.
Colin, you got any other questions, Colin?
Yeah, I got maybe just one last thing. Is Aubrey home tonight by chance?
She's upstairs with all of the children right now. So they were told to try not to run around too much so you guys can hear me and not stomping feet.
All right, well, good. Tom's got something he wants to tell you. So,
well, we wanted to, first of all, we got something special we want to talk to you about tonight too, and that's why we have you on, and thank you for being a part of this. But one of the greatest things about your career and the accomplishments that you had is now through the selection of the Hall of Fame committee, you get to join Scott Opfer, his wife Tracy, Larry Holstead, and many, many others, because as of today, you are the newest member of the Winona State University Athletics Hall of Fame. Tell us how you feel about that, and welcome aboard.
Speechless. Absolutely speechless. Extremely grateful. I think back to my playing career. I don't know if it's probably not still the same way. We used to always walk up from downstairs and sit on those couches. And even though we weren't supposed to put our cleats on inside, we put our cleats on inside because it was cold out. But you'd stare up at that wall of all those Hall of Fame guys and girls across from all sports. I remember sitting there thinking, man, those guys are legends. Would be an honor to even consider being up on that wall someday. And truly grateful to hear and very appreciative of that honor.
Yeah, aside from your accomplishments on the field, it's equal to what you've done off the field since then. Your leadership as a coach, as a father, as a human being, as a school teacher, all of it makes you a Hall of Fame inductee. It makes you the person, helps make the person you are. And so congratulations, you've really earned it. We're all really proud of you, man.
Thank you. I greatly appreciate it.
Yeah, and as a teammate, in the leader on our defense, like you always were, you were somebody that led with a very quiet, heavy hand, and when John said something, our defense listened. And by the way, when John tackled you did not want to be in his tackling line.
Yeah.
He was an undersized outside linebacker, but that kid right there is one of the toughest dudes you'll ever run into. So super well deserved. And I'm super excited for you and all of our teammates, man. It's an honor to have played alongside of you, and congratulations. And we're super, super pumped to see you hopefully on campus this fall. We'll have to work that around coaching a high school football game.
Yeah.
But we'll make it work. Tom's got connections in the helicopter space or something, I think.
Yeah.
Well, that's just like you said there. I mean, it's just as much, I think, an honor of the defenses that we played with in those times than something for myself. I mean, none of those stats, none of those awards could have been possible without what you guys did up front, or heck, I mean, Coach Enns just said, line up in a 30 technique and make a play. And I looked over at him, I go, Coach, what's a 30 technique? I'm a defensive back.
Yeah.
And it would just be like, line up in front of the guard and go tackle somebody. But then it was learning from those guys and you guys in front, making my life easy. So.
Well, we want to congratulate you from all of us at Warrior Nation and us around Winona. Can't wait to celebrate with you one way or the other. So congratulations from all of us, and especially from your Warrior teammates, and the Hall of Fame committee is very, very proud to have you as our newest member. So congratulations again, John.
Thanks, Coach.
Congratulations, John.
Thank you.
Tonight I'm joined by Scott Opfer, founder and former president of the FPA. Say hello, Scott. The great Coach Tom Sawyer is with us. How you doing, bud?
I'm doing fantastic. Thanks for having me on.
And one of the best all-time Warrior football players in our history. Statistically, Rayon Simmons. Thanks for being with us, bud.
Thank you for having me.
Coach, do you want to just give a little background on Rayon and maybe his quick story on how the heck you got so lucky to have a kid like him on your football team, and maybe give us a little bit of his statistical background as well?
Well, absolutely. I think the biggest thing is that, I really enjoyed our time together, Ray. We really had a lot of fun together as I was coaching the running backs at that time. And the story that Rayon has here, although the statistics will share that it's best we've ever had, best the conference has ever had. But I think one story I'd like to share about his first coming to Winona State, he came to us through Northern Iowa, and he was looking for a school to transfer after starting there as a freshman. And Matt Entz was down there coaching, who is now the head coach at North Dakota State. And Matt called me and he said, hey, Rayon Simmons is here. And obviously he was one of the best running backs in history of the St. Louis area. And we knew we had a special talent down there. And Matt called, and I got a hold of Rayon, and he came up, and I thought we started off right away going, okay, we got something special going on here between Ray and I and the rest of the Warriors. And I want to share that Ray was still looking at, geez, I should be a Division I player. It's Division II right for me, all those kinds of things, rightfully so. And then there was a game at Upper Iowa when Curtis Dewberry took a return back for a touchdown, and he's running across in front of me. And all of a sudden, Rayon about knocked me over because he's running stride for stride with Curtis. And at that moment, I said in my headphones to the rest of the coaching staff that Rayon became a Warrior at that moment. And he embraced Curtis. He almost got us a penalty by running down there because I think you were running faster than Curtis. But I really think Rayon, at that moment, from my perspective, took off as now the new leader on our football program. Of course, he ended up at Winona, the all-time leading rusher in our school history, the Northern Sun Intercollegiate history, and also was a Harlan Hill finalist, which is the Heisman Trophy of Division II. So, yes, Colin, we definitely have the best running back that's ever played in the Northern Sun, and here he is on our show today. So welcome aboard, Rayon, and of course you got some big fans with the three of us sitting here.
Thank you guys so much for having me again.
All right. Well, hey, Scott, I got a question for you, Rayon. I guess tell me what is your time at Winona State, and what did it mean to you? The opportunity. What changed in you at Winona State?
The biggest change for me going to Winona State, like Coach Sawyer stated, was when you redshirt with a group of guys your freshman year, and then you leave them and then go to another school where guys redshirted together. The biggest thing for me is that everyone at Winona, had open arms when I first came. Right. So, that camaraderie, that, being a warrior, that helped me transition, because as Coach Sawyer stated, I was still had D1 hopes and D1 dreams. So being a family and, doing warriors for life, taking that to heart, really helped me transition. It helped me, have some humility as well as to know that, it's a process. So that was really helpful for me.
Ray, my son Austin had the chance to play a season with you, and he walked onto the campus, and I was doing probably $185 maybe in terms of weight, and I think he saw you, and I think he put him half to death because you had the uncanny people, true people, and unfocused people. There aren't many guys that can do that. Early. The last thing that Simmons is still alive and well here. But tell us about what your experience was like, being the athlete that you were, having the success that you had. All the things, all the over the years. What was that like for you being a kid from St. Louis?
All right, so just to make sure I understand correctly, you want me to just talk about what was it like having all the accolades I had at Winona State and being on campus?
Experience. What was your experience? What was it like being that guy at Winona State?
I mean, honestly, when I was at Winona State, and Coach Sawyer helped with this, as well as Mike Budacheski as well. When I was at Winona State, I had a one goal in mind, which everyone that knew me knew that. So I didn't really let take anything to my head, just because I knew that the National Football League was on my radar. That's what I wanted. So being the guy was okay, but I want to win games. I want to win championships with my teammates, because I know that memories like that will last forever. But at the same time, though, I wanted to make sure I did my part. I was always let me make sure I hold my weight, make sure I do what I need to do to help the team excel. And I was really hard on myself when I didn't do what I needed to do to help the team excel. Because made mistakes, obviously, fumbling the ball, not hitting the hole correctly, things like that. I just think, being a guy or the guy on campus was easy at Winona, because Winona has such a close-knit feel. It's like a family. So
yeah.
Ray, I got a question for you as well. Graduating from Winona State and moving on, and now you've gotten some post-secondary education degrees in the master's level. Why don't you share with us what you've done academically, and what the pursuit is that from the first degree you got with the Warriors?
For sure. Yeah. So at Winona State, I graduated with a bachelor's of communications. Went on into the real world after football. Realized I wanted to do some more stuff, so I got a master's in marketing first, and then got an MBA. Got my MBA. So that was more so. I did accelerated programs, so I finished each program within 14 months. each master's program in 14 months. So it's accelerated. So yeah, I commend, being on the Winona State football team with allowing me to be able to work hard and juggle a lot, because, you have to juggle a lot to be a warrior. As most people know. So, yeah.
And tell us about the biggest accomplishment in your life that's in the near future.
Biggest accomplishment in my life in the near future is going to be the birth of my daughter.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah, buddy.
That's for sure. But no, besides that, it's just continue to build, build my family with my wife and build a life with my wife that I've always wanted. I've always been ambitious to want certain things and live a certain way. And that's why I work so hard, man. I credit Winona with allowing me to find myself, because I was really lost when I first got to Winona. So,
Rayon, I got two questions, I guess, and then I'll flip it back to Tom to kind of maybe wrap us up. If you could give advice to a kid in your shoes, stepping on campus for the first time, a Winona State football player, what would that be? So that's part one of the question. And then part two, what are you doing today? How are you making an impact? How are you giving back, both at Winona State and into the game of football?
For sure. Yeah, so advice I would give to any student athlete that will be attending Winona State soon is take it day by day, right? Know that it's a process. Everything's not going to happen immediately for you, and just enjoy the ride, because you're going to miss it when it's over.
No doubt. Amen to that.
So that'll be the advice I'll give any kid to go to this come to Winona State. Also, as far as what I'm doing now, so I am an assistant coach here in St. Louis. I have been coaching for about 7 years now as a running back coach in St. Louis. I have been at St. Mary's High School in St. Louis. And we have won, out of the seven years I've been there, we've won 2 state championships back to back. So that's pretty exciting. I actually have a running back going to Mizzou this season. So he's committed to Mizzou.
Great.
He's going to be pretty good. I'm excited. Jamal Roberts, remember that name. He's going to be
okay. Yeah.
He's special.
Yeah, he's special. And then as far as like work and personal, I'm in sales. I've been in sales for the last 9 years. And I own my own transportation company on the side. So just doing a little bit of everything.
Good for you.
Cool.
Well, Ray, one of the things that, first of all, I'd like to congratulate you on all of those accomplishments since we've seen you last, roaming the streets of Winona and around the hallways, especially down at Maxwell Field. But we wanted to take this time too to celebrate something else with you tonight, and that is the fact that we have selected you to join Scott Opfer, his wife Tracy, and many, many others in the selection of the Winona State Athletic Hall of Fame. You are our newest member of the family and the fraternity of the Hall of Fame. So tell us what you think about being in the Winona State Athletics Hall of Fame. Congratulations.
HOF, baby, HOF.
Tom, you owe me $10. I told you he'd cry.
Yeah, but you can't see me crying up behind the glasses.
Yeah. Congratulations, Rayon, man. That's awesome. It's well deserved.
Thank you so much. I've as a man, right? And you can, and I hope every athlete that went on us listen to this as well. As a man, the one thing you have is your legacy. And Coach Sawyer will tell you, I wanted to know what was the record when I first got there. That was day one. I wanted to know what was the record when I got there. And, to join such an amazing, hell, I'm in the company of Kevin Curtin. That's amazing, right? He's a legend. Travis Walsh, Chris Samp, Scott Offer. This is it's amazing to know that hard work does pay off. And I just want to say thank you so much to Warrior Nation, and to Winona State as a school for giving me an opportunity to showcase my talents, and be accepted as a St. Louis kid in Minnesota. I was
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Thank you.
Hey, you earned it, man. You're a phenomenal football player, but more than that, you have grown to be a phenomenal human being. On and off the field, you've always led by example. This is long overdue, and we're so proud of you. And congratulations, you've earned every bit of it, man. And I'm so proud of you, and I can't wait to watch you get inducted in October.
Thank you so much. This means so much to me.
Well, I just want you to know that everybody that you played with is going to go crazy when they find out about this one, and for all the future Warriors coming up, do it like Rayon did. And I mean that from my heart, that from the day you and I sat in the office to this day and moving forward, it's a bond that I'll cherish for the rest of my life. And so congratulations. There's none better. And I'm really, really proud of you and your family and your wife, and you'll have a newborn child to come and be a part of this when it gets here. So we'll talk to you more after the show.
Thank you so much, guys. And anytime. I love to do this anytime, any other time.
Appreciate it, Rayon. Thanks everybody for joining us. This is the Winona State Football Players Association podcast. Huge congratulations again, man. Go give that beautiful wife of yours a hug, and we'll see you on campus this fall.
All right,
Thanks,
man.
guys.